What's going on, guys? Welcome back to F123 for my team career mode season 3 round number 6, the Spanish Grand Prix. Pretty sure it's round number 6. So back in Spain for the first time since season 1, going to a few tracks now that we haven't seen, we didn't see in season 2, so that makes things a little bit more interesting to see where we will be and just what will happen at these tracks since we last raced at them. A couple of upgrades going on to the car for, I believe, powertrain and aerodynamics, but they won't come through until the next race in Austria. Also, we've gone for another upgrade on our marketing department. That'll get us up to spec 3 for marketing, so then we'll be spec 3 for everything, so that should make it easier for, getting new teammates and things in the future. Looking at R&D, not a whole lot. Mercedes right back there with Ferrari again, overtaking us, so now we're third again in R&D. McLaren caught right up behind us, and then Red Bull and Aston Martin just behind, so still very close at the top. Looking into Q1 here, so yeah, I do actually, well, we had a pretty good race here last season. A little bit of chaos. There was it Perez and Alonso, I think, wasn't it, that had contact around a couple of the, almost right at the end of the lap, coming into the final 2 corners. They had contact. Oh no, sorry, I think Perez spun and then reversed into Alonso, who was coming up behind him. So a little bit of chaos in that race last time out, and that meant for a pretty interesting race and an interesting result. Q1, no real surprises, both Hasses, both AlphaTauris, an Alpine of Esteban Ocon out in Q1, maybe a little bit of a surprise, but yeah, they are down the bottom end, so I guess that's fair enough. And I think the other one was Logan Sargent in the Williams, which is pretty much expected. We did okay in Q1, right about there, I think within a 10th actually, of Alonso's time, so hoping to bounce back after a couple of fairly, let's say, not great weekends for us. Of course, last time out in Monaco, we retired because we tagged the wall just a tiny little bit. We just grazed the wall and got a puncture or something, and there was no point continuing on because we just didn't have the we were going to drop right back anyway, and we were already out of the points. We only just made it through to Q3 here, by the way. Oh no, we're P9. We're ahead of Verstappen, so it wasn't terrible, but a little bit closer than I would have perhaps liked. But our car doesn't seem to be amazing here, considering we're third on R&D. Seems to be, McLaren are, I guess, are the main ones who are behind us on R&D, but seem to be quicker than us most weekends. To be fair, I think that is largely because I think it's aero. I think aerodynamics, or it might be chassis. I think it's aero though. McLaren are the best. They have the best aero by quite a margin. I don't think quite have it for everything else, but with aero they are a decent step above everybody else. So through the corners, the McLarens are very quick, and I think that's where they're finding all their pace, despite only being the 4th quickest on R&D. But I mean, it is so close on R&D, and they've got 2 very good drivers. But I think that is what it is. They've got very good aero in that car. But here we go, finishing off my lap here. It wasn't the best lap in the world, but it was okay. Like I said, the car feeling better here than it did. Well, actually, the car felt okay in Monaco last time out, but we just didn't have the pace for whatever reason. Feels a bit better here, and kind of shows that. P8 and P9 for the team. Alonso P8, we're about 2/10 back in P9, so not quite the performance I was hoping for in this car, even with Alonso. It's Lando Norris pole position once again. He's really getting up those pole positions, and Hamilton on the front row with him, Leclerc 3rd, and Piastri 4th. So let's see what is going to happen. We're in a bit of a Red Bull sandwich here for this Spanish Grand Prix.
Welcome along, everyone, to sunny Spain, specifically to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. So many great moments in Formula One history have been written at this very track over the years, including Michael Schumacher's first win for Ferrari back in '96. That win was in the rain. We might have better weather here today, but we're just as overjoyed to be at the Spanish Grand Prix. It's an updated track at Catalunya, and we welcome the removal of the chicane in the final sector, shortening lap times and reducing the total running to 2.9 miles and 14 turns. This was actually the original setup for the track, but it hasn't been used since 2007. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Russell, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Davies, Verstappen, De Vries, Iwasa, Albon, Gasly, Joe, Bottas, Doohan, Stroll, Ocon, Magnussen, Liam Lawson, and Logan Sargent. And now it's time to head down to the track. And with me today, of course, is Natalie Pinkham. So, let's briefly discuss Lewis Hamilton. That was a great win in the last race, but can they keep that momentum going into this weekend?
Well, there are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out will have boosted their confidence coming into this race.
Alright, so here we go for the Spanish Grand Prix in Season 3 to 5 red lights. And they are off, underway. Here we go. We're starting on the soft compound tyres. Sainz does not get away well off the line at all. Terrible from one of the home heroes here. The other home hero, of course, being Fernando Alonso, our teammate, who we're actually going side by side with into turn 1. I'm trying to get the move done here because we're on the soft compound. He's on the mediums, but he just manages to stay ahead of us, and we've actually gone really wide now, just trying to get on the power, and Verstappen is now alongside us. He's also on the soft compound tyres. He's gone ahead. We're going to try and go around the outside of him, but we just don't quite have the grip. A lot of understeer. Sainz is actually trying to come back at us here, and we just have to really defend well against him. So in the end, we actually haven't really gained any positions here. We got past Sainz, but then have been overtaken by the other Red Bull of Verstappen. So everybody in the top 8 is starting on the medium compound tyres. So Norris down to Alonso, medium tyres. Myself, well, basically from P9, me, all the way back to P22, we're all on the softs. So, yeah, interesting. I think interesting for Verstappen to go on the softs, considering he was in the top 10. We see it quite a lot where people outside the top 10 will go onto softs because they have an extra set from not getting into Q3. But for Verstappen to do that, very interesting. It happens for me quite a lot because I try and save a brand new set of softs. But yeah, for Verstappen, that is interesting to see. But lap 1, no positions made for us, but an interesting first lap. This is a look at the start now, at the leaders, because Hamilton got a very good getaway. Leclerc actually right behind these two as well, trying to look for a way past. Norris, though, defending from Hamilton through turn 1, but Hamilton's going to go round the outside, and he is going to get the lead of this race. So the leader in the championship by a considerable margin has taken the lead of this Spanish Grand Prix. Norris has started to fall back already by lap 4, and now Leclerc's looking quick in the Ferrari, quickest car in R&D, let's remember, right there with Mercedes, just ahead of them, or else, although there isn't really much between them, but Leclerc can't get past on that lap. But another couple of laps later, he will go for the move once again. Norris going very hard on the defense to the inside, but Leclerc will get past and up into P2. So Leclerc looking to fight back in this championship. He's had a couple of pretty poor results, just like myself. Actually sits behind me in the championship at the moment, but he has had one win this season. He's trying to chase after a second. Now Alonso trying to get past George Russell, who seems to be struggling a little bit in the Aston Martin. They are the kind of bottom car in this top 6 very close-knit group. They're now behind Red Bull on R&D and haven't had a win this season. I'm not sure they've had a podium. Russell might have got a podium at some point. I can't remember this season, but definitely no wins for Aston Martin yet this year. And Alonso is in a mega battle actually with George Russell and manages to finally get past after being side by side for the whole first sector. So that's Alonso up now another position. We are just kind of here behind Verstappen and Russell. And yeah, I think Russell is potentially slowing Verstappen down a little bit, and that's slowing us down because, you see, this is a bit of an annoying thing. If we didn't get overtaken by Verstappen, I think we could have got past Russell. We could have possibly got past Alonso and been right up there in that kind of top 5 group. But as Nick De Vries behind me has a mechanical failure on lap number 9, smoke pouring out of his car, he's out of the race. But yeah, if we had managed to, you know, keep ahead of Verstappen, I think we would have been in a better position, because the problem now is we're behind a car on same tyres as us, and he's not making a move on the cars ahead of us on the medium tyres. And it just, for us, we just are kind of stuck in this position where we can't really do anything behind though, and there are moves being made. I think Norris just got past Leclerc back into P2. Piastri now has got past Tsunoda for P4 or something, but now Tsunoda has spun around. I think he's destroyed his car. Yes, he has. He is out of the race, and the safety car is out on lap number 10. And now I'm thinking, what do we do here? Tyres are looking fairly worn, and my team actually tells me to come into the pits at the end of this lap for the medium compound tyres. So we're staying on the mediums apparently, but we'll get back to that in a second. This is what happened to Yuki Tsunoda, spun round and into the wall. That is the second time this season Tsunoda has crashed out of a race. I believe it is the third time he's spun out, including the 2 crashes and then Saudi Arabia, because he's crashed out here, he crashed out in Baku, and he spun out from the lead in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah. So he's had glimpses of good pace this season, Tsunoda, but also has been making way too many mistakes. Leclerc has come into the pits for a set of hard compound tyres. He was the only one inside the top kind of 7 that came into the pits. Everybody else has stayed out. Myself and Verstappen have obviously come in because we started on the soft, so we've got to come in for a set of, well, mediums. It's going to be potentially a little bit long to go on the mediums. I was debating whether we go hards, but my team told me to go mediums. Verstappen's gone mediums, Wassa and the cars behind us have also gone mediums, so we're just going to follow everybody else because otherwise it might screw us over. But Leclerc's going to be the interesting one here. He's just a couple of positions ahead of us, but has gone onto the hard compound tyres, definitely to the end. But as the safety car comes in, Alonso and Sainz have both come into the pits on that lap. They have completely screwed themselves over here, or the team has screwed them over on strategy. That is a disaster for those two, so I don't know what's going on there. Leclerc now on the new hard compound tyres has good pace. He's just gone round the outside of George Russell. Great move for Charles Leclerc there, and myself and Verstappen also looking quick on these brand new mediums. Russell really looking slow here, staying out for a bit longer though. Pretty much all these guys ahead of us not doing what Alonso and Sainz did, and coming in straight after the safety car. They're trying to see if they can get anything out of this, because really strategy's been screwed for them. Verstappen's managed to get past Russell. We're trying to get a bit of a run as well. We were having a look at him down the straight, but they were just too wide with each other down the main straight. We have though gone around the outside of Russell at, what is that, turn 4, I guess you'd call that, maybe. But yeah, we've got past Russell. We're just trying to stick with Verstappen now, because me and Verstappen are on the same strategy here. We are the lead drivers on the soft medium strategy. Leclerc though is the lead driver who has already pit, and he is bloody quick here. He's just now gone around the outside of Oscar Piastri as well, and is now going to be shaping up a move on Lando Norris, and he's doing it in a bit of an unorthodox place. Not really, but he gets that move up the inside very quickly. Norris is going to fight this one though, as they go side by side around this next section here. Verstappen's also managed to get past Piastri and is just sat there behind. This is becoming quite the race here for what will eventually be the lead of the race. Norris really trying to hang on to this one, but he can't, and he still has to come into pit, so it's not going to work out for Lando or either of the McLarens, to be honest. Verstappen now also going for a move on Lando Norris round the outside of this straight here. Norris still putting up a fight. We spot an opportunistic moment on Piastri, who's squabbling around all over the place, to go up the inside and then round the outside of this next corner, get on the power, deploy a little bit of ERS, and that is us now past Piastri up into P5. And now Norris, we want to dispatch him quickly as well, because we want to try and keep with Verstappen and Leclerc. We could be in the fight for the win here if we play our cards right. Norris goes very defensive into turn 1. That is what I wanted. Swoop around the outside. We've got the better grip on these brand new tyres. We're now up into P4, which is effectively P3, because Hamilton still leads this race. He has not come into the pits yet. If a safety car comes out, he may be alright here, but if not, Hamilton is definitely throwing away this win. And this just shows how things have really been shaken up here, because this is Bottas and I believe Ocon, or maybe I think it might be Gasly, fighting in the points for about P6, P7 here. So Alfa Romeos and Alpines fighting for mid-points. That is pretty crazy. But this now is the battle for the lead. Hamilton's come into the pits. Leclerc leads. But Max Verstappen has gone to the inside and has taken the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. That might seem like not a crazy thing to most people. But if you've been watching this series at all, you'll know that Verstappen hasn't won a race since way back towards in the mid part of season 1. He hasn't even been on the podium since season 1, and he's now taken the lead of this race, so that's pretty special in this career mode. Ocon, I believe that is, gets past Logan Sargent, who is also running just about in the points. This is crazy. Both Alfa Romeos in the points, both Alpines in the points, and Williams, I think both Williams in the points as well. This is a pretty crazy battle here, and you can just see how many cars there are here, because they're all out of position with, you know, the slower cars have already pit. The faster cars who were at the front pit later on and are now having to make their way back through. There's now Sargent going for a move on Zhou Guanyu. I cannot keep up here, and that is Logan Sargent through and past Zhou Guanyu. Great little move for Logan there. And you can see Alonso trying to make his way through as well. He's one of the cars trying to make his way through this pack. Yu Muasa was running P4 but has spun the car, same place that Perez spun in season 1. Thankfully he gets off the track though, and will continue on, but falls right back, and that has put Alexander Albon into P4. Albon in a Williams is legitimately P4 in this race. That is crazy. That is ridiculous. Williams, I think, have 2 points so far this season. If Albon can finish there, that's another 12 points for Williams. Crazy. But who's on a charge? It is, of course, Lewis Hamilton. He's now trying to go around the outside of one of the Haas's. Sainz is also behind there, also trying to make his way through. He had a bit of an engine issue or a car issue earlier on in the race, so he's trying to recover from that now. But Hamilton is really on a charge here. He is a quick man in that Mercedes. He has a very comfortable lead over the championship, but he wants to, you know, I don't think he's going to be going for the win here today, but he wants to, you know, go for damage limitations as much as he can right now. Leclerc now, a few laps later with Verstappen leading the race. Leclerc, his hard tyres have now bedded in, the mediums are starting to wear off, and Leclerc now retakes the lead of this Spanish Grand Prix, and that might be checkmate for Leclerc there. Verstappen, though, still in a very impressive P2 in that Red Bull. That is a crazy thing to say in this current day and age, but this is the big battle right now. Hamilton's now having to battle with a car that is actually on the same strategy as him. That is Fernando Alonso, but Hamilton gets past Alonso, just showing how much pace he has in that Mercedes. The next car up ahead is Pierre Gasly in the Alpine, who's currently running P5. So this could be another great position, a great finish for Alpine and Gasly as well, who doesn't have any points on the board yet this season, but he has now dropped down to P6 with Hamilton getting past. Sainz further back, I feel like I'm losing my voice here, has now just gotten past Ocon. I think that is for P9, maybe P10. Piastri is just behind these as well. I think this is the battle for, well, if you count Sainz, I think the battle for P9. Piastri trying to get up into P10 now, past Esteban Ocon, as he's going to try and go round the outside. Oh, just about giving each other enough room. Great racing with these two right now, and Piastri will just about manage to get ahead of Esteban Ocon and will at least score a point in this race. But this is Hamilton, a couple of laps left to go, and he's now caught Alexander Albon. He's going to try and spoil the party for that P4 finish for the Williams team, and he is going to get that done. Hamilton recovers back up to P4, but that's all he's going to be able to do. Then you've got, this is now Piastri going for a move on Sainz, so he wants a couple more points to add to his tally, gets that position done on the second to last lap. And then this is the two leaders, Leclerc leading from Verstappen. Although Verstappen's medium should be wearing off and Leclerc should be on the better tyres at this point, this last lap Verstappen absolutely put his foot to the floor, the pedal to the metal, as you say, and is right up behind Leclerc as they come around the final corner here. He's going to pretty much push Leclerc over the line, but it is going to be Charles Leclerc who takes his second win of the season and wins the Spanish Grand Prix. We are going to finally get back on the podium for the first time since Bahrain round 1 of this season in Bahrain. We are going to get P3. It's going to be Hamilton P4, a fair way behind us, couldn't quite catch us. But Alexander Albon, I think, is the man of the hour. He's going to pick up P5 in the Williams, and Gasly also, I think, hangs on to P6, gets driver of the day as well. What a Spanish Grand Prix that was.
A real team effort then, which has paid off in spades. A great victory here at the Spanish Grand Prix. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, what a race. At the end of the day, it is all about raw pace, and our winner had it in spades today.
Here come our winners now, a thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
So there we have it. That is the Spanish Grand Prix. Charles Leclerc wins his 2nd win of the season. He may have had a couple of DNFs, a bit of bad luck so far this season, but he is still on a charge to try and keep his championship hopes alive for Season 3. Verstappen is finally back up on the podium. Red Bull are finally back up on the podium. I think Perez managed a podium in Season 2, but Verstappen, he hasn't been on the podium since Season 1, which is crazy. And then we do manage to get that P3, so awesome that we are back on the podium as well. Yeah, pretty crazy race in the end. Okay, so Gasly actually ended up P8. I thought he hung on to P6, but no, P8 for Gasly. Alonso did manage P6, Norris P7, Piastri did get P9, and Sainz in the end did come back for 1 point in his home Grand Prix. But what an insane race that was. After the kind of bore fest that was Monaco, we definitely had an exciting race here in Spain. I mean, we had an exciting race in Baku as well, but unfortunately we didn't quite have the pace there. Here, we were definitely closer on pace. Still not really quick, but we were closer on pace, and strategy made it work for us, and we got ourselves a podium. We are P7 still in the championship, but it is very, very close, other than Hamilton right up ahead. Yeah, even extends his lead to Alonso in this race, finishing a few positions ahead of him. And in the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes still up ahead, but it is very close actually between Mercedes, McLaren and TGL Motorsport. Ferrari also getting above 100 points now as well, and a big race for Williams, now on 12 points in this championship, solidifying themselves in P7. I mean, it doesn't mean they'll finish there, but they have firmly now put themselves in that spot. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.